Hey, I'm Joe the Tender. Welcome to my channel. So that's how you do that. Happy you're here. Today we're going to be putting some tile in a bathroom on the floor. Let's get started. Let's watch. Now this is a membrane that you can put on your floor instead of using cement board. It's only like an 1/8 inch thick. When you thin set it down, it allows movement so you're not going to get cracked tile. Because of the thickness, it takes away a lot of high spots where you'd use tile where it goes to another floor. But I personally like to use Dietra everywhere just to be safe because concrete slabs crack. This is going to help with that. Try not to cut it short. If you cut it a little short, you can always patch in a piece, okay? You don't need to worry about that. So come right along the tub. I just cut this. Just cut right along this edge while I'm overlapped. I like to use a 1/4 by 1/4 notch. And then I like to mix my thin set so it's really kind of runny. It's just dripping off of my trowel. Same thing down here, and I lined it up there. Now I take a scrap 2x4, and I'm just going to start smoothing it into the thin set. So when you're picking this up, get it in a pile, just take your trowel and go down with it. I don't like to install tile on this right now because if I have to pull a tile up, the Dietra will come with it and I want it to keep a good bond. So I'm not going to install tile on this till tomorrow. And I like to use a chalk line to snap on the floor to use for my layout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to coat this floor with the rest of this thin set that I have made to fill in all of this, and then I'll be able to hold the chalk line. I'm using a brick pattern, and so I snap some lines on the floor to use as a guide to see where I position my tile. Also, I use these lines to mark my cuts. And my goal was to have big size pieces along the tub, along this exterior wall, and at the doorway coming in. And then I buried all the small pieces behind the toilet. And I just used the tile to come up with some measurements, and then I snapped those lines on the floor as my guide. And you'll see how we use them as we go. Okay, I did that, so I still have my mark there. I could have just drew that first. Now we'll just flip it back and we'll break it this way. Now the formula to this is just measure from this square 2 1/4 down. So 2 1/4 from where this ends, 2 1/4, 2 1/4. If you don't like circles, you can use this. Mark all these, just connecting the dots. It's just a good guide to go by. There's about 4 inches right there. Now I'm going to use what they call the whale tail because I need to work inside my garage. You can see that's still pretty runny, so I'm going to add more thin set. Okay, so this has been about 10 minutes. You can see how it filmed over a little. I want you to see how easy my paddle goes in here. You don't want your thin set to be too thick. It's almost like just thinner than a peanut butter. If you start getting thicker than that, then it starts to be a problem to work with, and you want to have a good consistency with it. I'm just going to take this first piece and set it in. And I'm going to get it lined up with my line that I have down here. I'm using leveling spacers. Now these are supposed to maintain a 1/16 of an inch gap. It's not really because the tile has a bevel. By the time I use this 1/16, it's going to end up being about an 1/8 inch grout joint. Now I'll stick this one on. These are what I use to tighten those spacers. I just spin it, tighten it up. That's all I'm going to tighten it up for now. I'm going to come back and probably give these one more tweak. Shove a leveling spacer in right there so that it straddles 2 joints, just like it did right there. Now I'm just taking a grout float and I'm getting everything into the thin set now. These things are pretty durable. I mean, I know that I've seen some others, and there are other ones out there that if you over tighten this, the whole thing breaks off. These are really, really strong. So what I want to do is I want to laser this so that I'm on my line that I snapped, so that I can just see it with that and cover it up with inset then. Just eyeball it. Since I'm getting closer to the door, now I need to work this way. And so I'm gonna just measure right now, just how big this piece is and how big this piece is. I'm gonna cut 2 at the same size and then start them right here. Well, the next day after everything's all set up, I come in and you can just kick these off with your feet if you want. I typically like to kick them in the same direction that the joints run. You can also use a rubber mallet to do this. Pretty quick work. Now it's really important that you want to try to make sure you get on this the very next day, because the thin set will still be soft enough for you to clean it out. Alright, there you go. We just tiled the bathroom. Looks pretty simple. Those leveling spacers are a game changer. They give you a professional looking tile install. Whether you've been doing this forever or if you just are doing this for the very first time, these leveling spacers are definitely a game changer. They tighten the joints up, making them perfect. No lippage in the tile. But buying the right ones is really the key to using those leveling spacers. There's lots of different ones out there. The ones I'm showing you, really strong, easy to use. The thing that I like is you can screw them down and you can unscrew them again if you need to add more thin set to a tile, for example. It's nice to be able to just do that real quick instead of having to deal with those wedges, which I just don't like. I don't know how guys can even use those. But it's up to you. Just use some sort of a leveling spacer. It's really going to be, like I said, a game changer. Make you feel like, hey, this is super easy to do because of that. I shared some other tips in here, and I have a lot more on my channel right now and a lot more coming here in the future. I'm really going to be releasing a lot of tile stuff in the next few months, so be looking for that. And you can find out by that if you hit that subscribe button. Also hit that bell so you can be notified. And if this video was good and I deserve it, hit that like button if you could. I really would appreciate it. I also have a ton of plank videos, whether it's laminate or vinyl plank, on my channel if you're looking to learn how to do that so you can put some in your own house. I have a ton of tips that will make that so much easier for you, so check those videos out. Again, my name is Joe Latender. I really do appreciate you watching. I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day.